about unregulated waste sites from the perspective of informal recyclers for 8 years. He has explored this topic in Haiti, Venezuela, Bangladesh, Colombia, and most notably Nicaragua. His photography and storytelling have received the attention of the Environmental Protection Agency, CNN, activists who present cases to governments, galleries, and fundraisers. He's currently living in Nicaragua, where the International Solid Waste Association has helped him to conceptualize and to establish the ISWA scholarship program. The mission of the program is to identify children who are currently engaged in informal recycling in open dump sites and who have a willingness to leave in order to pursue an education. So despite the fact that many countries partake in discussions about circular economy, the number of dump sites nonetheless seems to be increasing in the developing world. This has serious environmental and health implications and directly affects the lives of at least 2 to 3 billion people around the world. What can we do to close these dump sites? How can we reduce the impacts felt by those who are most affected because they are living inside dump sites? And what is the role of the ISWA scholarship program? And what are the actual results? Please.
It is an honor to be here today at ISWA's World Congress in Serbia. Thank you for this opportunity to tell you a little bit about my work as a dump site photographer, and also about the ISWA scholarship program that's removing 40 children from 2 dump sites in Nicaragua and changing their routine by hashtag changing trash for education. I chose an unusual labor of love by photographing trash dumps, but many years ago I encountered Central America's largest dump, known as La Chureca in Managua, and my purpose with my camera and my heart would expand greatly. Having seen filthy children playing in and eating from garbage alongside vultures, flies, dirty animals, and dump trucks, it shocked me, but it also changed me. It disturbed me that these kids were robbed of their experience of life. I continued to pose a question: how can governments or people not care enough to allow this to happen? Where was the world heading? There were just some things you can't unsee, and when I returned back to the United States, my outlook on everything felt altered. Many people in the first world, like myself, were unaware of their richness and their wastefulness. So I kept going back, not only to La Chureca, but to trash dumps all over the world, so I could research and understand more. Each time, I learned something new about humanity and the environment. I soon came to realize this is a commonplace in many developing countries and affects billions of people. Years have passed, and now the condition of La Chureca has improved immensely. The Spanish and local governments worked together to remove the people from the dump and provide them with concrete housing. A village was created called Villa Guadalupe. It houses 1,800 people from La Chureca and well over 3,000 refugees from people losing homes due to flooding in 2012. They cleaned and covered up the dump and created a sorting plant which provides 250 formal jobs for the community. However, even with these great changes taking place, the minds of many families did not change. With little to no job opportunities, families, children returned to La Chureca to scavenge what wasn't sorted at the factory. The community that moved there, due to losing the flooded homes, started waste picking as well. Many turned their new home into a place to store, clean, and recycle garbage, repeating the cycle of informal recycling. Last year, ISWA and I brainstormed over a solution for those affected by informal recycling. We concluded the cycle needed to be broken in order to open the minds of the next generation. The youth needed support and broader opportunities to help change their attitude into aspiring for life beyond the trash dump. When dump sites close, children need guidance, families need more sanitary living conditions, and parents could receive formalized jobs recognized by their own country. Children should not be allowed in trash dumps anymore, anywhere. This is what inspired the ISWA Scholarship Program. The program consists of myself as the director and Nicaraguan local Angel Blanco as the supervisor. We explore trash dumps in search of children. We explain the program, take a formal interview, and make an appointment to meet them at their home. When we visit the home, we take note of the condition of the living space, the family size, and their history. Later, we look at all the applicants. If chosen, we return for the formal interview, where families sign contracts stating that they understand the program is about education and the well-being of the child, so they do not return back to the trash dump, and instead look for a larger meaning. The program began with 15 kids who are funded by ISWA and go to a private school. People following the project on social media wanted to sponsor as well. The need was certainly there, and so the number grew to 25 kids. Then later in the year, we were fortunate to have Maria Pasta sponsor 15 more kids. And today, the ISWA Scholarship program has expanded to 40 kids total in its first year. The children who have the highest grades and best conduct receive extra benefits and advance a continuing year into private schooling. Children who are doing poorly are encouraged to take our tutoring classes and English classes. We have a bedding program with a company that recycles wood crates to make beds for kids who are sleeping on the floor. Many receive various perks, such as food, allowance, psychologists, art workshops, yoga classes, and sponsored visits. The kids get excellent health insurance and dental exams, including one kid who had all his teeth totally reconstructed. We made it impossible for the kids to not benefit from the program. All they need is a willingness and a cooperative attitude. We need to know that when we give them the bait, the ones that always take a bite are the ones who are genuine to the program and are willing to do the work. Besides, in the end, if they're not totally excelling in school, at least they're not returning back to the dump, which is the initial goal of the program, is removing children from unregulated or semi-regulated trash dumps. We hear unbelievably sad stories, but we have seen marvelous changes in the attitudes and in the confidence of the children. I would like to tell you about Sarah and Oscar. Their mother was brought to Leccereca when she was 8 years old to work. The family searched for items in the trash to eat, sell, or repurpose, like build a home from the materials they found. Sarah and Oscar were both born in Leccereca. At age 3, Sarah developed horrible asthma from the fumes of burning trash. Growing up, she was always in the hospital. Doctors warned them that they did not leave that environment, that she could die. The family decided to move to the Caribbean side of the country, where Sarah started a strict tea diet and her condition improved greatly. The mother found work cooking for woodsmen who cut down trees. The father usually stayed at home drunk with various women and on occasion abused Sarah. Oscar was 5 years old when he started working with his mother. The job was a 6-hour walk through dense jungle, including a river they had to swim across. One day, they were so late getting back because of a storm. Darkness and pouring rain flooded the river, but they both tried to cross. Oscar was taken by the current and the two were separated. The mother panicked, but eventually found him clinging to vines in the river. But by this time, it was nighttime and they had to stay overnight in the woods. Neither one slept the entire night because they were scared and alone in the jungle. These experiences were enough for the mother to want to move back to Leccereca, leaving her husband behind. Now, they share a 2-room concrete house with 18 people who are informally sorting at Leccereca. Sarah shared something interesting with me about her father. When she was small, she would ask him if she could go to school like other kids she had seen. His answer to her was that school was only for rich people. We are poor, and therefore everyone in the family has to work. Sarah and Oscar stopped going to Leccereca to join ISWA. Sarah had a rough start at the new school. We received many calls about Sarah's attitude and lack of motivation. However, the last grades that came in reflected she and Oscar had the best grades out of all the ISWA kids at the private school. Now that attitude is changing into confidence. I am so very proud of Sarah and Oscar, and I am so excited for what the future may bring them with their continued hard work. I want to see more informal recyclers own their importance and understand the pride in it. For everyone to see the impact we all have on one another, especially when we all are aware of the global picture together. We function like puzzle pieces, side by side throughout the entire world. Possibly, informal recyclers would know their value to the planet, and the governments would recognize their value to them. That those unschooled have a shot with an education, and those who prefer recycling can do it in a clean, well-compensated, and respected manner. From a well-educated scientist in a suit to an unschooled informal recycler, whether on a mission of change or just trying to make enough to survive, if we realize it or not, we are all contributing towards the same higher result: global circularity and waste resolve. Before I close, I need to address the International Solid Waste Association with a huge thank you. Thank you for making this dream come true for us. It really means a lot, but don't just hear it from me, hear it from the kids.
Bravo!
Thank you.